Ondo government actually has announced that henceforth, anyone found guilty of kidnapping in the state will face the death penalty by hanging. The Attorney General and Ondo State Commissioner for Justice, Kayode Ajulo San, stated this at a news briefing after the State Executive Council meeting on Saturday in Akure, the state capital. According to the Attorney General, buildings and facilities used by kidnappers in committing crimes would be demolished after following due process in the courts. Ajulo explains that the anti-kidnapping law would be reviewed by the Ondo State House of Assembly, which will prescribe the death penalty for kidnappers by hanging. He said the council was also concerned about the spats of cultism in the state and would do everything necessary to decisively deal with the situation. Ondo becomes the second state this year to have called for death penalty or for death by hanging for kidnappers. In April, the Edo State Governor Monday Okpeholo said kidnappers caught in the state will face the death penalty specifically by hanging. Please, let's get your thoughts on this decision. Especially the demolition of houses. I think Edo State Governor has taken that more like into a deep consideration. Most structures that are being used for kidnapping and other illicit, I don't know how to put it, gathering or some sort. Like the cultism kind of thing. I think there was a particular House of Assembly member by his building was demolished on Edo State because the government noticed or perceives that that particular building has been used to allegedly harbor cultists that engage in certain activities. And I think at the particular time when this broke out, there was an accusation of a fight that broke out before it was realized, according to the statement, that that particular building was used for that, and they had the plans to demolish that building. Ondo State joining the queue of, considering death by hanging for kidnappers and demolition of properties. Do you think that's a good move to follow from Edo State's decision? And I want to also get your thoughts from the Edo State's decision on this.
Well, what I want to say, putting so many factors together, to me, I'm not comfortable with the decision. I look at it as being reaction. Under adversity intelligence, I came to understand that there is a marked difference between reaction and response. They don't mean the same thing. And what most of our people in government engage in is mere reaction. Like I used to accuse my professional organization. You see the way insecurity is engulfing the country. Members of my organization are there dancing on the street, organizing law weeks. We are planning to go to Enugu in August and all whatnot. Until we are caught in the net. You see Nigerian Bar Association jumping up and down like fresh plant at the bank of fresh water, shouting, and it will not make any meaning. Because we are intrinsically, united. We belong to each other. Don't make the mistake that for whatever reason, whether benefit directly or indirectly, and you keep quiet at evil. Because evil is like smoke. So long you are breathing in and breathing out, you will be affected by it. So why are they targeting kidnappers? How about political kidnappers that have kidnapped the future of the people? Evidently, to the point that in states, talking about governorship and or any form of election, people don't matter. How about that? You see, I believe in base superstructure analysis. This table is here. Perhaps the camera may capture only the surface of this table. It may not capture what is sustaining this table. That is what matters. That is the most important thing. What is sustaining this table? The legs. Those are the most important thing. And that is how rule of law is to any society. that is thinking of tomorrow, that is thinking of progress. When these politicians are destroying the very fabric and the foundation of any society, which is the rule of law, I've been saying it here to you. I tell you that most of these politicians, they don't know what they are doing. Why I say they don't know what they are doing is that once you destroy the law and the law fails, nobody is secure. Last time I came here, I reminded you of the position of J.F. Kennedy. He said any society that cannot guarantee the security, right, of the majority cannot safeguard the safety of the minority. When you say minority, we're talking about those of them, quote unquote, worthy. But I don't see them as worthy people, because these are individuals who don't have any verifiable means of livelihood except stealing and looting of public treasury. I'm not saying that they cannot, but look, let me tell you, there is a moral fiber that law carries. I used to say this to people. I grew up in Port Harcourt here. I knew when the glory of the judiciary, people don't come to court to play around. That's court environment or security. In fact, people desire to live within an area where security outfits are, but now people are running away. Why? Because they can be they can be targets of attack, and it will certainly affect those. It's like building a house around filling station. Do you understand? It has become the other way round, and that is very unfortunate. When law cannot guarantee the safety of the people, what's the purpose of law? Then it means law is being used as, if you check, how you know the potency of the law, check the wavelength of the response of the people to it. How you know? Check when something happened to any of these persons I call political opportunists. Check when something wrong before them. You can pick the pulse of the society. They have migrated out of the sympathy of majority of members of the society because they have lost confidence in them. It's just like federal government saying that a bag of rice should cost 4,000 naira. There are things you don't legislate into existence. I raise a simple question. How about the political kidnappers? The political kidnappers are worse than the physical kidnappers, because if you check the graph of crime, part of what generates crime is when law fails. Even somebody may look as somebody who has criminal tendency. If he has a good verifiable means of livelihood, the next thing that will come to his mind is his future, which is the children. He wants to do everything to take care of the children. You see, this poverty that is in the country today, they are enforced by these political leaders deliberately. Their thinking is that they know that in political economics, poverty is a legitimate weapon of war. They want to bring the people to that basic baseline of poverty, that their mind will shift away from significance to survival. And the moment any man's mind shifts from significance to survival, anything goes. He can do anything. And it is from such harvest field that these politicians go to get these boys during election. Then after election, they will dump them. Because the only thing that will keep them still relevant for next time is, we've been seeing it all over. When Don Juan was ready in River State here, he was connected to the political class. He was serving their purpose. So when these politicians raise certain questions beyond the issue of law, because when you want to use law as an instrument of oppression, suppression, and repression, it will be counterproductive. It will not work. So, like, do you legislate against hunger without taking any physical step? People cannot go to farm. There is hunger with us. They don't even have money to go and buy food. Then you now expect that society should be safe, devoid of crime. It does not work.
So in essence, you're saying that this is more like a shaft decision.
Yes, it's a failure.
Because most of this decision that has been taken by the individuals that engage in this kidnapping cases are results from the decisions that have been made by the political leaders.
Most of the political leaders, I'm accusing the political class.
Most of the political leaders.
Yes, I'm accusing them.
Decisions that have been made by them is what triggers certain the decisions of most of the kidnappers.
Most of these kidnappers, see.
So you're not saying that most of them can engage individually, even though they have opportunity to engage in legal businesses or legal employment.
Let me tell you something. You know, you are working within this confinement, so I have a broader view than you on certain issues. I was in this Port Harcourt when policemen, they will rather remove their tag, their name tag. Do you understand? To collect money on the road. They remove their name tag, and their number, or wear something like a camouflage that will cover those means of identification. Go to the street now and see what is going on. I know that Rivers is under emergency. It's unfortunate because I will say there's no law here. It's a failed system as far as I'm concerned. And it is for a particular individual selfish interest. But look at it. Go to the road now. Check the audacious impunity with which police are collecting, extorting money under gunpoint from innocent drivers. Those who have higher level of understanding know that such money don't profit. Do you understand? They know, but most of them don't know. They can collect millions per day, but it will never profit them. That's just the same way these things happen. I am not in any way supporting kidnapping.
Okay.
I hate it, and steps should be taken. But I'm telling you that when there is no consequence, because a single person cannot conspire. Crime usually have chain. We've heard of cases of the diabolical activities that these politicians engage in, part of it aimed at caging the people. And they are not too far away from human sacrifice, which is the baseline of this kidnapping. If you check most of these people who are involved in this kidnapping, it is destruction of lives. Lives purely, don't talk about properties. So to me, this is just a shallow way of tackling the issue. When you want to tackle an issue, you tackle it holistically.
So how should this kind of issue be tackled? Because we still have individuals that engage in activities.
We must make law to work. Do you understand? Where law works, nobody is above the law. In the political class, the people they govern them under force. The people don't matter. And they claim to now make law for the people. It will not work. I'm telling you, this is a pure synergy. Do you understand it?
Okay.
How can you, where's your authority to do what you are doing? You will not see that. You will find a situation wherein there will be a kind of reaction by the system. It's just like what I was telling you. Let federal government announce today that a bag of rice will cost 50,000 naira, or that marketers of rice should sell it at 50,000 naira. They will ask the federal government if it has a rice farm from which they are harvesting their product. You can't legislate that into existence. You know, I was laughing when federal government, Tinubu's wife, hiding under the guise of the church, which I look at it as religious witchcraft, and we are doing all manner of things. Their own character is shown clearly. There's one thing you cannot do.
I do not understand the last statement you made, Barrister Mankey.
Now, what I mean is, he is from the angle of the church. Do you understand? Today I will go to police station. I gave a very serious reprimand to a lady that I'm going to meet today at the police station because they collected money from her under the guise that they are going to fix a house. Do you understand it?
Okay.
And having collected the money, she is nowhere to be found now. The people who are involved are not helping matters. I asked her, did something not tell you that something is wrong here? They asked you to pay money and you are just paying money. I now realize that it is a religious disposition that made her amenable for such manipulation and exploitation. Do you understand? There's a way religion pacify people. Like I was telling you about slavery. People, until Wilberforce rose up, that something is fundamentally wrong with slavery. Religion was being used to power slavery. citing certain scriptures by Paul, talking about servants and masters and all whatnot, until somebody rose up based on conviction to say this is right, this is wrong. That's why you see some manipulators or manipulations within the church circles. That's why you see, even that's why I'm always very, very careful about individuals. If you are a man of God, I need to look at your character properly, not what you say. Because there's a distinction between what you say, just like we're talking about this law here. If you make the law, even if you not say you are going to destroy a house, what if these people migrate? That's why if I have a car, if I drove down here and I came out, I did not see the car, the first thing I'm supposed to do is to go to the nearby police station to make report. Do you understand it? The reason why you have to do that is to possibly safeguard you in the event that car is used to commit crime. If you lost your phone, the first thing you're supposed to do is go to the nearby police station and make an entry. Within that space, because in crime, time is of the essence. Within that space, your phone was stolen. Perhaps they use it to call somebody that is connected and they kidnap the person. Right? Before later your phone is found. And then they call you on the phone you pick. And they say, can we see you? And you mention your location and you are picked, taken to police station. That, are you the owner of this phone? Whom did you give the phone to? You say you did not give it to anybody. But that your phone was stolen within so time. That you have even made an entry. This is what we call alibi. You will realize that that entry you made is going to save you. Do you understand it? And time is of the essence. The law requires that upon you revealing or bringing such information, it should be investigated. Having somebody who has criminal tendency in your environment does not necessarily mean that he is connected with a particular crime that occur, right? But the person has in the local parliament, they say the Appleby strength to dig grave, and the person was invited to another state over the weekend to go and do such job, and they did that. They went with them to church on Sunday. They wanted to leave. They said no, they should wait till Monday. Then on Monday they now gave them money to go, and then the incident that happened took place on Saturday, breaking Sunday. The person was not around. Then when the person returned on Monday evening, he is picked, taken to police station, and the person says, look, I was not around since Friday. I traveled to so place. This is where I was. He gives you detail of the people, shows you the burial program, that they even went to church on Sunday. They bring the video. He is in church with them, and that it was Monday that he traveled. The person will escape. Do you understand it?
Okay, so quickly, if you may get your thoughts on this situation, what do you think should be the right penalty? And how do you think quickly that this should be handled instead of the demolition and death by hanging for kidnappers?
Okay, let me start from the last point. Like we're talking about, let's say people kidnap somebody and then move into a particular building that they are aware that the person is not around. Do you understand? Some people jumped in and then they moved their victim in there to evade arrest, so to say. Are you going to demolish that building? Are you listening to me?
So someone has actually said that
these are the dangers.
Said that it is a good decision because it will serve as a deterrent to some individual that want to engage in such activity, because he said that you know the pain of having a structure of your own. So imagine you hear that someone that was involved in certain line of business was treated in this way. He said it will actually make anyone that wants to engage in such lifestyle to take a step back.
Get it right. Except that building, buildings are immovable property. Except the owner, because I'm talking about a company. When they mention the company name, you see the alter ego show up. If you go to bank and you went to bank on your company name, right? When they call the name Chidinma Resources, it's you that will come up and say, I'm here. Are you the company? You are the alter ego of the company. Do you understand it? So what I'm saying in essence is this: except the person that is connected, not that if they found in any building. What if they move to a hotel? Do you understand? They drop the person and move into a hotel. So you are going to demolish the hotel. That's why we're bringing the concept of reaction. When you react, you don't think properly. You just want to solve an immediate problem. It always end up, it's just like presumption. If I breach our communication line, let's say we're in communication, and I breach it, you will presume that is because perhaps I don't have anything to do with you. That's why. And presumption always, more than 80% always wrong, because you are not hearing. That is the foundation of the principle of fair hearing and justice. That you cannot deprive me of my right without being heard, except the building is connected to the person who is involved in that crime, and the building is used to power such.
Okay, in essence, that's when it can be.
That's when it can be demolished.
But
the situation wherein they use it, just like we saw in a state like this, because I don't like your political view, I will go and revoke your CFO. Because I don't like your political view, I'll go and seal up your company. Come on, such things don't. It always generate bitterness and crisis. And as you are closing the business, everybody that is connected there to, we go down.
All right, Mr. Mankey, we got your thoughts on that that particular decision by Ondo State Government. Well, from the Oyo State chapter of the All Progressives Congress (APC), it has described Governor Seyi Makinde's decision to spend a total of 63.5 billion naira on renovation of the government house as a waste of resources. APC, which is a major opposition political party in the state, made this declaration via a statement. The statement was signed by the publicity secretary of the party, Wasiu Olawale Sadare. The statement was made available on Sunday. It was gathered that Makinde a few days ago announced his plans to renovate the Agodi government house at the cost of 63.5 billion naira. APC, however, described the decision as a waste of resources. Sadare in the statement advised Makinde to rescind his decision and berated him for allegedly treating the people of the state with utter disdain and disrespect. The party noted that the immediate past governor, the late Abiola Ajimobi, had earlier renovated the edifice before leaving office in 2019. Well, let's get your thoughts on this statement from the APC in Oyo State over the decision by Seyi Makinde.
It's very sorry. It's not only sad, but very unfortunate when you weigh some of these things in the light of current realities. Now, if you check, this is what is happening all over. You know, recently we are looking at a situation wherein they used 39 billion to renovate International Conference Center. This is a country that is bedeviled with insecurity. A particular ethnic group is giving upper hand and they are untouchable.
If you're talking about the ICC, the government using 39 billion, yes. How about the decision of Seyi Makinde using 63 billion?
But that is copying. Do you understand? It's you just see a complete state of people do what they want to do. You know, when you are not accountable, this is exactly what I was talking in the other way around.
And wait, quickly, I want to ask, is it that the state government actually generated enough for there to be, you know, decisions like this to occur? These funds are generated are given from the federal level? Or these are part of the, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to a point. Is it part of the budget for the state where they take most of this, you know, this funds to do this whole renovation, or they are being granted fresh funds to do this? I just want to get an understanding of that, please. Okay.
Now, ordinarily, where law works, where there is rule of law, do you understand? When we talk about rule of law, that is the basis that anybody who means well will always fall to. The purpose of rule of law is that everybody is guided in what he or she is to do, in line with what is laid down. Now, when you meet an organized individual, today is Monday, right? It takes discipline to do that. an organized individual, there are a lot of people you can call this morning. Even if it is something that will bring in money, they'll tell you that they are very sorry that they cannot meet up. And they already have their plan for today. Do you understand? They plan it from the weekend. There are ones they can remove depending on the priority. If it is something that will keep my late dad used to tell me that an empty sack cannot stand on its own, except there's a content that you are putting in it for it to stand. And I told him one day that you can starch a bag and it will stand up. He laughed. Of course, you know that is part of falsehood. When you starch a bag to stand up, because that is not the real essence of the bag standing. There must be a content. So you see what happened in a situation where law works, like in the state we are talking about now. There ought to be a state house of assembly. Do you understand? There ought to be a budget for the year which was looked at meticulously. All the people that make up the house of assembly represent the people of their local government, because you have one person. This is what is supposed to be. Let your mind run through a state like Rivers State and check the harm that is being done to the people. Now, a particular person can raise an issue that there are projects for other local government. My people don't have anything. Why? There is space for budget review. They can review it and say, okay, when they are done going through it and they say, okay, it is okay. There will even be money budgeted if there is going to be any form of renovation. But all these ones are thrown into the dustbin. We find ourselves in the situation wherein the governor does whatever he wants and get away practically with it. You'll be surprised he just woke up and realized that this is the way he can filter the people's resources. Do you know what 60-something billion is? Do you know what it is? I'm just thinking. I'm looking at under Amechi, modern secondary school that was 4.5 billion, and people shouted. If you see these structures in a fenced environment with boarding, virtually everything, it was supposed to be run by Indians. They are supposed to be on campus, everything there. 4.5 billion. If you know what 65 billion is, and then check the realities of the people on ground. That's why you can see somebody like a governor telling civil servant that your money is in my pocket. If you like, come and take. And people that die. The moment your allegiance is not to the people, you know that you are not there. The people say makes no meaning about it. You can do anyhow. And that's what we see manifest. I'm not into finance, but if you know what 65 billion can do, it can change the lives of the people. Do you understand it? But an individual, it's just like we are having in this state, and they tell you this is the cost for one, what do you call it? Not interchange.
So in essence, there are setting tax that most of those funds, according to what you talked about,
Yes.
the state assembly, the most then the different local government constituencies.
Yes.
Yes, they have representatives, and they should have budgets if there are needs for any of the local governments from the local government. So I'm trying to think, does it mean that this money that's been decided on, although I'm not sure if it has been granted, it's been taken from a particular section that needs are supposed to be used for? I'm trying to think out loud on that. I don't know if I'm making sense on this statement. Is it that things that are supposed to be done are being left hanging?
Yes.
For the renovation of a government house that has been already renovated.
Now, do you know those who are complaining? Is the opposition. So it means that the House of Assembly is certainly behind it. It's just like
so does it mean that the federal government have no right to allow that to function or not?
No.
Certain decisions like that.
If we're in a state wherein the rule of law prevails, that's part of the crisis in Rivers State. Do you understand? The president is elected by the people of Nigeria. The governor of this state is elected by the people of this state. He has no right. There is no power constitutionally and otherwise. That's why I insist that what happened in Rivers State is a coup, and is persisting till now. The consequences will come, and when it will come the other way around, you will see the end of it. Mark what I'm telling you here today. That is how it is. Even if there is going to be, if let me assume, I doubt if this was captured in the budget. The only thing that is not captured in the budget, you are not supposed to do them.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking the question. So in that sense, it wasn't captured in the budget.
I do not think so.
This fund was already set aside for other needs, like you stated.
Yes.
So it's being taken from those needs.
They will take it from those this thing and put it on what they want, even if it's not captured in the budget. We saw it even in this state. Do you understand it? So we have a situation wherein a single man does whatever he wants to do. And if you raise your voice, they come after you. When I tell people that we're in a virtual state of lawlessness, people think I'm joking. It's bad. And that is where we are. And when the rule of law fails, like I always say, people don't know the consequences. The consequences are very there. Now, those who are criticizing this, I look at it the other way and I say, check what the federal government is doing. This is a country that people are dying like fowl. Foreign terrorists are invading Nigeria and doing all manner of things and getting away with it or with them. The law cannot cut up with them. When it comes to them, the law fails. So you realize that the law is according to what is the desire of the person that is in charge. So you use law as instrument of oppression, repression, and suppression. And once law is used for these three cardinal evil principles as against justice, I always tell people, something that is behind the door is anarchy. Because it's very unfortunate, but that is the reality. So why, you may even ask the question, why would people, or for instance the governor who is in charge of the state, why would they apply money on things that are contrary, that will not advance the interest? How many persons stay in government house?
That's why I actually, because
how many people are staying in government house?
The statement, this government house has already been, renovated.
2019,
yes, in 2019.
Before the governor left office, he renovated the place. So what are you talking about? 60 something, we can say almost 100 billion. Yes, because in mathematics, once it's above 50, right, it's going that way. If it is 0.666, you just do 6.7. Do you understand? Approximate the other one, make it 6.7 instead of 6, So this is exactly where we are. So you realize that we have people who don't owe allegiance to the people. The power they have don't derive from the people. So we're in a state of lawlessness.